I never really thought this day would come. I met a patient about 20 years ago, a retired professor named Elizabeth, who came to my clinic. She was dying of pancreatic cancer, and she asked me then whether cannabis might help her. And I said no, because that's what I learned in medical school. She reached into her briefcase, took out a 3-inch tall stack of articles, put them down on my desk, and said, "Really, doctor? You should read these. You might learn something." And I did read those articles, every single one, and found a bunch more. And I did learn something. I learned that there actually is some medical benefit to cannabis that I had not anticipated, never heard about in medical school. Second, I learned that there was a lot we don't know. And third, I learned it's really, really, really difficult to do high quality randomized controlled trials of a substance that's federally illegal. This rescheduling has the potential to change all of that and to rewrite the way that we do research related to cannabis in the United States in 3 ways. First of all, it'll democratize the research process so that all academic institutions can participate in research, not just elite academic medical centers. Number 2, it'll give patients and researchers access to highly refined, reliable sources of cannabis rather than relying on 1 or 2 sources around the country. And last but not least, it'll let us do the sorts of large-scale randomized controlled trials that we do in oncology and cardiology, not dozens of patients, but hundreds or thousands of patients. That's how we learn, that's how we produce valuable knowledge that's useful in guiding treatment decisions. Mr. President, without you, this never would have been possible, and my patients and I and all of our families are grateful. Thank you.
What's up? What's up? Peace, peace. This is Newsroom 16.1. We here with another series. Your host, Henry. Co-host, Shinakma JML. And guest host, St. Patrick. What's up, everybody? What's up, Shin?
You already know, man. It's just another day in the neighborhood getting it done. Let's go. Schedule 1 to schedule 3. You know what I'm saying? It's like they might as well mark the December 21st on the calendar now. That might as well be a new holiday.
Unmute yourself.
Unmute yourself, St. Patrick.
There you go.
Folks with it every day, all day.
Hey.
I think it was by time. It's by time. It gives an opportunity to not only further the process of hemp and the benefits of it to be widely spread and given to the rest of the country, as well as lower the penalties, maybe allow some of the brothers and some of the sisters that's been dealt a major blow to the criminalization of it, to maybe see some days of freedom as we get into a new era and trying to bring about a more coherency about laws across the nation. It is not just, all right, and some places it's legal, and then if you cross over to another state, you thrown in jail. You know what I'm saying? Maybe across the nation, we could get a more honest answer towards the civil cases and also well as the criminal cases and the convictions that we got for those crimes to be lessened. You know what I'm saying? So we can see some of the brothers and sisters that's being affected by that, though the criminalization of the law, be let go and free.
Yeah, but that ain't gonna happen. If you're in there, you're in there, bro. You gotta serve that time. You already signed that paperwork. So if you got knocked off before the law changed, then you got to do that time, bro. That's the way that works.
No, I'm saying.
I'm just saying because I'm from a state where it is legal. Where I live in the state of Rhode Island, Connecticut, Massachusetts, all the states around me is legal. All the way to New York is legal. But everybody,
I'm thinking about some of my brothers. I'm thinking about some of my brothers that are deep in the South. That that have been affected by drug charges with marijuana for years. You know what I'm saying? I got brothers in Texas. I got brothers. You know what I'm saying? I got brothers in Louisiana, Mississippi, and Alabama, and even down in Florida that are affected with weed convictions that maybe they could be amended. You know what I'm saying? They could be expunged off their record to where they could get affordable jobs, that they could be looked at as being a better citizen, and that they could maybe even get into the dispensary side of it. You know what I'm saying? Back
Oh,
into
they
where they
definitely
was
do.
selling it, they could, where they were selling it illegally, now they can sell it legally. You know what I'm saying?
Well, that's what they did out here. You know what I mean? A lot of the people who set up the dispensaries out here when it went legal was a lot of the basically the plugs anyway. They was the plug anyway before, and now they're the real plug. They're the legitimate plug now. You could go. That's where I went. You know, you see, I got the cannabis on my joint. I just this is and it's legal. You know what I'm saying? They got the see it got the thing on there. You gotta take it off you gotta actually open it. It's sealed up.
Yeah.
And it's good though. But a lot of the people who I know who got knocked off on charges and went to jail for that before it got legal, you gotta do your time because that's what you signed for. You know how that goes. That's a contract. Once you sign that paperwork, that's the time you got dealt.
Okay.
You could go try to appeal it once the law is once it's legal, you could try to appeal it, but that don't mean you're gonna win the appeal though. Because remember, everything in America when it comes to the laws goes based off grandfather clause. Yeah, but it goes based. I'm telling you,
Can I?
you would think that it was money, but it's grandfather clause because the grandfather clause means that so if I sign for that paperwork and I signed to do a 3-year bid and then 2 weeks later weed's legal, that means that I still got to do that 3-year bid because that's what I signed for.
Okay, look, let me say this. Y'all on the small stuff of the matter. I'm like this. They knew that marijuana, THC, was medicine from the start. They lied to us for a decade.
You mean a century?
Oh yeah, centuries, decades on decades.
A century, 100 years.
Yeah,
They've been lying for almost 120 years right now.
lying to us. And then they want to come in our face now to tell us that we still got to do research, and they know.
And they're saying they're gonna make. You know, it's funny too, Henry. They're saying they're gonna make medicine when 100 years ago the ancestors are people from our generations, our great grandparents and stuff. They already knew it was medicine.
Yes.
You know, it's kind of wild how and it's funny because you know they always try to say something about the ancestors was ancient or they didn't know nothing compared to now. If that's the case, then why is a lot of these scientific discoveries and these medicinal properties and stuff that's getting found out about all these different things, these different sources of natural and holistic methods, when our ancestors, like our grandmothers and our grandfathers, was teaching us these things decades ago, you know what I mean? And they were trying to act like they didn't know what they was talking about because they wasn't using science, you know?
Yes, yeah. So let's cut into a little video.
Tonight, I am also proud to announce that more than 1,000.
Wait, wrong one.
What you got?
But there's no doubt that America's adversaries are trafficking fentanyl into the United States in part because they want to kill Americans. If this were a war, that would be one of the worst wars. I believe they killed, over the last 5 or 6 years, per year, 200 to 300,000 people. You hear about 100,000, which is a lot of people, but the number's much higher than that. That's been proven. And they've destroyed a lot of families, because when they lose a child, or even if their child is heavily addicted, you lose that family. The family will never be the same. That's why today I'm taking one more step to protect Americans from the scourge of deadly fentanyl flooding into our country. With this historic executive order I will sign today, we're formally classifying fentanyl as a weapon of mass destruction, which is what it is. No bomb does what this is doing. 200 to 300,000 people die every year that we know of. So we're formally classifying fentanyl as a weapon of mass destruction.
This is enough fentanyl to kill you. And if you think this is a lot, you'd be dead wrong.
So as an anesthesiologist, I give fentanyl to patients every single day. So let me tell you how it actually kills you. So first, the reason why you want to breathe isn't because of oxygen, it's actually because of carbon dioxide that builds up in your blood. So when you run, for example, you generate a lot of carbon dioxide, which then your brain senses and makes you breathe faster, you huff and puff. But fentanyl changes the threshold with which your brain does that, so your brain becomes less responsive to carbon dioxide. And all of the opioids do this, including your pain medications. And if you overdose, basically your brain just stops caring about breathing. And by the way, Narcan can reverse that in 2 to 3 minutes. That's something you inject into the nose. But otherwise, your brain just stops breathing and you suffocate.
We're gonna be talking about marijuana, fentanyl, the streets.
Listen, I've been on that before because I've been in some type surgeries. You know what I'm saying? I've been on those anesthetics because fentanyl is basically, that's what they don't be telling you, but fentanyl is classified as an anesthetic. You know what I mean? Which means that basically they can use it. They get it institutionalized. They use it to kill you. You know what I mean? You know, that's why they say they're going to put your dog to sleep. When you go to surgery, they're going to put you to sleep. You know what I'm saying? They're not talking about legitimate sleep where you're like sleeping like you're in the bed. Nah, they're talking about take you up out of here. And I know that for a fact because when I got when I got a surgery, the last time on my throat, when they gave me that fentanyl, they gave me the fentanyl and the propofol. They give you the fentanyl is so it takes away your pain, and then they give you the propofol so that way they can control when you wake up. So they can control if you're gonna when they want you to come out of the basically being dead. You know what I'm saying? People don't know that. When they say they're gonna put you under to do surgery, they're really killing you. And then they hook your body up to a gyroscope and to leg massage pumps that keep your blood in your body flowing regular while your heart is completely stopped and your brain is completely off. Your heart and your brain is completely off when you take that fentanyl. So what that doctor is telling you is completely true. And I know because when you come back to consciousness, I had one time they told me to count backwards from 10. And I made it to 7, and then I got knocked out by the gas. I was done, unconscious, dead, right? And I know I was dead because when they put me back up, when they gave my consciousness back and they let my heart and my brain start working again, I didn't start functioning, my mind and my consciousness, until I finished counting from 7 down to 0. And the lady said that she never seen that before, where I counted from 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and then boom, I was back to consciousness. What, you guys didn't do the surgery yet? Nah, the surgery's over.
So we know they mixing fentanyl with stuff. I'm like, I never seen it personally, but I hear stuff on the streets about people overdosing on it.
Not only
And
that, I've
people
seen
going
some
to
people on that
jail.
fentanyl. I've seen people on that fentanyl, and they be doing some wild stuff, bro, on that fentanyl. They be doing some wild things. Like,
The heroin.
They be doing. Nah, they don't, bro. It's even worse than the heroin lean. You know what I'm saying? They be doing worse. Worse. They be looking like demons, bent over backwards, halfway over their body, and all type of stuff.
But
Look like
what I do know,
bro looked like he was doing yoga.
now, you know what I'm saying, like what I've learned, you know what I'm saying, from me being around it in my neighborhood and the situations that I be facing. Uh, it's a pharmaceutical. You get it legally. These people are getting it legally. They're not getting it illegally. They're all now. Don't get me wrong. They're all enlisted sellers, but the makers and the producers of it, it's a synthetic heroin, right? So by being a synthetic heroin, it's a pharmaceutical make that you only can make it in a lab. This is not
It's not natural.
something that you could just, you know what I'm saying, whip up in your backyard like crack cocaine, water. You most of y'all know the ingredients. I don't want to
Yeah.
go into it on here, but um, growing some pot in your pottery. You know what I'm saying? Outside, water it, let the sun shine in, and then 9 months later, reap the benefits. This is a
Is
cooking laboratory thing. And
is
the people that I know who got laboratories is the
yeah,
Hey, we already know that. You ain't got to say
because
that around me. You already know. I say
it
everything is the
it's
CIA.
not shaking, babe.
It gotta be, bro. Like, how you mass producing a medical grade narcotic at the street level when you have to be a PhD to produce this stuff? You got to be Walter White. You know what I'm saying? You got to literally be Walter White. You can't just go in there and be like, yep, somebody taught me. No, it don't work like that. You got to be a certified chemist. You know what I'm saying? Certified.
when
And
you
then not only
when you
that,
talk about uh 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 a small amount could drown you. Niggas don't even mess with stuff like that. You know what I mean? Small
listen,
amount of drown you.
that's why I had to say, like,
No,
to
I
give
gotta
people
let you
a
know.
legitimate
It's a
example was the surgery.
it's an
Because, and then when you're
academic.
on surgery, they're not just giving it to you, they're giving it to you. They got the little dial thing there. You know what I'm saying? They can adjust how much they're giving to you at a time and stuff like that.
Yeah.
These people is out here going hard body with it. You know what I mean? Sniffing it like it's cocaine lines and stuff like that. And then obviously, if like the doctor said, it's telling your brain sensory not to breathe, then a lot of the people that surviving that is because they got a strong will. Because that means you're willing yourself to breathe. So if you're not overdosing and dying off of suffocation off the fentanyl, that's because your will. You're actually actively breathing by thinking it yourself in your mind.
Oh,
Oh,
wait
I
a
gotta
minute.
breathe.
Oh, snap! I remember. I seen a lot of people on the transit center in the state of Maryland. Like it was a few years back. They would take pills, crush it inside of aluminum foil, and start blasting. And I believe, like when they smoke it, that's when it could mess up their mind at that time and that breathing because they smoking it.
Remember, you got to remember too, when we was in dare class, what they tell you, right? The faster you get high, the more significant the effect, right? It's the more significant the effect, the faster you get high. So if you're taking the pills, just straight up pills, then you got to digest it first, obviously, in order for you to get the high, right? And if you're sniffing it, it's going straight to your brain, but it's still in a solid form, so your brain still got to absorb it. So it's not going to be the most potent way. But if you smoke it, it goes straight to your brain instantly, and it absorbs almost instantly, which causes these higher levels of significant effect of the side effects, the symptoms. That's what makes it so dangerous too, because like how they're saying, oh, if we give you the Narcan, you're going to come back. You're going to come back in 2 to 3 minutes. The Narcan is the same thing they use when they're waking you up out the surgery. You know what I'm saying? Basically they're using medical science, medical technology, but in the street level.
Yeah. So it's an epidemic in certain place on the eastern seaboard. I don't know how it going in Chicago or LA. What's going on in LA? Is it here in LA?
What, bro, man? I lost a couple of partners, associates that I know out here on overdoses. It is a nice little epidemic. You know what I'm saying? Especially, in LA. You know what I'm saying? We got a large influx. It ain't as the crack epidemic, you know what I'm saying, which was horrible growing up and watching that epidemic hit the block. This is a whole different beast, you know what I'm saying, and a whole different mind frame. A lot of people, you know what I'm saying, they mixing it with stuff and you
It's
get
killing
different
people a lot
effects.
quicker too.
And yeah, and then so it ain't like I don't see the youngsters. I don't see young people, like it's not no party drug, but young people are like eager to jump on it or looking to get that rodeo and that high. You know what I'm saying? It's most of the old heads I see on it. But don't get me wrong, I'm not out here in the streets like I used to be when I was younger, trying to get every drug I can to make every dime I can. You know what I'm saying? So I could be in those circles while I'm looking at the effects that was pumping, was bopping, was if they got heroin selling over there, then I'm trying to get that too to make that money too. Or they got crack over there selling, I'm trying to make that money too. Or they got weed. And that's what them niggas doing. All right, so I got everything these doing. I got the pills too. I'm not in that street life no more like that. To really be like, look at it, but my neighborhood is saturated with different drug uses, and most people are mostly afraid to even do their regular drug that they normally get because they quietly trying to say fentanyl, nigga. It's crystal meth. It's still cocaine out here. It's still, you know what I'm saying, those drugs, and it's a lot of the real heroin, not even the synthetic heroin, like
Yeah,
they
but
trying
they're
to push
cutting a
it.
lot of the
So
drugs with that fent though now too. And I'm not even talking about the customers. I'm talking about the plugs. The plugs is
yeah,
cutting it
yeah,
because
especially when
remember,
you dealing with ecstasy pills. You know what I'm saying?
because they know the fentanyl is the most addictive one out of all of them.
And the mollies, you know what I'm saying? Anything that you could shake and bake, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, they are. But with certain things, you not gonna mix that with because of the cost of it. You gotta understand like this. If I'm gonna give you, I'm trying to sell, you want something for a dime, and I'm trying to give away something that's worth $20. I'm losing as a dealer to, you know what I'm saying, get you addicted. You know what I'm saying? Maybe one time, but if it don't work, you know what I'm saying, or you don't come back to me, then I lost the custom. You know what I'm saying? So it's a give and take. You know what I'm saying? I could see some grimy ass niggas doing some shit like that on some shit. You know what I'm saying? They try to hook somebody on the bait shit. I could see that. But the average Joe that's out here trying to shake and bake, trying to make that money, you know what I'm saying? And doors with this nigga saying, yeah, because what they really noticing, it's the suburban kids that are out there trying anything that's jumping on it the most.
Right.
But I
You know
won't.
what I mean? That's who they affecting the most.
And not only that, let's be honest. You know, like Trump said, if it's 300,000 people ODing and passing away in the last 3 years, then that's almost 1 million people. That's 100,000 short of 1 million people that they killed with that. And he's saying that can't no bomb do that. But listen, I don't want to hear that, because we know if they drop the bomb on the right
Ask the
city.
people in Gaza.
Nah, but I'm not saying that because he's talking about at one time. But I'm saying if they drop the bomb on the right city, it will have the same effect. You know what I'm saying? It's just because y'all is these folks. This lets us know. See, that was kind of like a Freudian slip by Trump right there, right? Telling us that the fentanyl kills more people in a year than bombs do. But we know that's incorrect. You know what I'm saying? It all depends on how many bombs you dropping and where you're dropping them at. Because if you drop a bomb on a densely populated area, it's going to kill everybody. Let's be honest. You know what I mean? If there's over 500,000 to 1 million people in that city, it's taking everybody down. You know what I mean? So we have to be aware of them trying to exaggerate the effect of the fentanyl, while at the same time trying to downplay the effect of them bombing people. They're trying to compare apple with an orange, right? You see what I'm saying? Quick, they're trying to be slick, and that's where what St. Patrick said, if y'all was paying attention, comes into play. Would it be in that 3-letter group? You know what I'm saying? Effectively maneuvering the product.
Yeah, because I gotta understand like this. You threaten Venezuela. I understand your biggest premise. You want to bring out, we trying to criminalize the laws, make it heavy on the fentanyl because we think it's coming from South America through the Venezuela government. So we really gonna try to make it seem like, nah, nigga, we know who been controlling the drug trade way back then, nigga. We understand your war. When you make a law, you trying to control the avenues of who's going to be able to control the drug trade. You know what I'm saying? And how the best way of fitting it.
Hold on. You got to realize something too, though, right? It's not literally coming from South and Central America. It's coming from China.
No, it's not.
It's coming from China.
It's not.
The chemicals,
it's not.
Hold on. Listen. The chemicals is coming prefabricated, meaning that they're separated, but they're getting shipped to them countries by China. And then in those countries like Venezuela, Colombia, Costa Rica, Nicaragua, El Salvador, Mexico, they're putting the chemicals together, putting them into the bricks, turning them into bricks from liquid chemicals like Walter White, and then sending it over the border. They're just
listen. All right, listen to me. You say it's that way, right? I'm honestly the guard, bro. I'm telling you, my people are not got a Mexican. They don't have a Central American plug. They got an American pharmaceutical company plug. You feel me? This is American chemical from American labs. That this is an American CIA operative going on in American soil, not controlled. They trying to say nobody else could fabricate this shit like we can. Y'all, we are eliminating our client, our rivals, right? Nobody else could sell in our territory but us. We making this here at home. Nobody else is getting this. It's in the country. We got the border shut down. There is nothing getting through.
Oh yes, sir. All you gotta do is import it. You know, like you're saying. That's why that's why what you're saying goes hand in hand with what I just said. Because remember, they still gotta import the raw chemicals from China. They still gotta import the raw separate chemicals. So what they're doing is
they got the raw supple chemicals here.
American Pharmaceutical Connect. Remember, just like me and Henry did another show about Smith and Wesson sending the guns over there legally through invoices and factory orders and stuff like that. They're just ordering it. Like, you know what I'm saying? They're gonna hit Venezuela. Yo, we need XYZ chemical to make the fentanyl. So give us 100,000 gallons. We gonna send you the bread on the wire, and then you're gonna write up the invoice and have your people send it on the 18-wheeler. When they get to the customs, they give them the invoice. The invoice says it's legitimate. Boom, the chemical comes across the border. Nobody's getting arrested for drug trafficking because it's going to what Johnson and Johnson or one of them Johns. You know what I'm saying? Bayer. One of them places, them same people who were standing behind Trump when he decriminalized the weed from Schedule 1 to Schedule 3, that is the same people making the fentanyl. The ones who was behind Trump.
Yeah.
And then notice what they said. They're gonna make all of the properties available for medical research to all colleges and universities in America now. It's not just going to be the Ivy League school. So now they're going to be making the fentanyl at the community college, legally making the fentanyl at the community college. So then who they going to give it to? They're going to give it to the undercover cops. The undercover cops is going to go out in the streets with the bricks. They're going to sell the bricks to the plug. And then the plug's going to sell the fentanyl to the customers. And they don't got to travel nowhere to get it because it's at the community college. Coming out the community college in the chemistry labs. You know what I'm saying?
Bingo.
And we already know that they're on the way in the next 10 years for the legalization of all narcotics and all drugs for personal and recreational use based on consent because of the state of Oregon. Remember that in the state of Oregon, all drugs is legal. And the state of Oregon,
ain't no collapse to the government.
Nah, it's all legal, bro. I got people who is in Oregon telling me that they be having people out on the corner, every store, everything, selling everything. The police can't stop them because in Oregon, drugs for recreational use is legal. It was the experiment. They did that. They legalized it during the Joe Biden administration. And it's funny because he said they've been having less overdoses and deaths and stuff like that because you have to go to even if when you acquire these drugs, you have to go to the legal areas, like clinics and stuff.
Yeah, the safe areas. That's how they did it in Amsterdam, bro.
Yeah, but you can't.
They do it in Canada like that.
That's something that they're gonna try to expand onto the whole country, right? But they're gonna do it like with the weed, slow, like it's a slow rollout. Because, like you said before, right? They don't want to have to let people out of jail who against the grandfather clause. They're trying to do it slow, but because they got to keep the prison populated. Remember that they got to keep the prison populated.
Cause I know I didn't hear nothing on Trump saying, nigga, all right, it ain't a new war on drugs. Nigga, all my life, nigga, it's always been a war on drugs since I was born. Nigga, in the Reagan era. You feel me? Way back in the Reagan era, and every president was big on that. Oh, we got a war on drugs and we gonna stop the drugs coming in the USA. And
Hey,
then me growing
bro,
up,
that stopped with
me
Obama.
really realizing, damn, nigga, my own government been slanging dope before I was even born.
Right,
Nigga, that go way back to the opium wars in China. The nigga, we been selling
right.
dope to them.
I was
So
gonna
You know what I'm
say,
saying?
and remember too, World War I and World War II caused people to come back as fiends because they was on the morphine over there. They was doing the morphine.
Yeah. Then you get the Vietnam War, we trying to slang dope doing there. Nigga, we was doing it big, nigga.
They
Shit,
was
nigga, we went playing.
Hey, remember that? Listen, and people don't understand. In the Vietnam War, the same care packages they was dropping off in the middle of the jungle and onto the base, they had the packs in there. The heroin packs was in there. They was in there. You know what I'm saying? People don't know the government was giving people the heroin to stay in the war, to go over there, basically. You know, this is what I'm
Yeah,
saying.
you know what I'm saying?
Can I go to game time?
That's why it says on the money in God we trust, G-O-D, gold, oil, and drugs. Those are the three things the United States works with: gold, oil, or drugs.
yeah, I'm about to pull this up real quick. Bear with me.
The other cards.
I think they read.
That's what the notice means. Everybody say, I need to
Can y'all see that?
Yes,
Should I be
sir.
able to-
what is the doing? Audience is on.
Thi- This is Oregon. Can y'all see?
Yes, sir.
You read it. I think they changed the law in 2024.
On February 1st, 2021, Oregon became the first U.S. state to decriminalize the possession of small quantities of all illicit drugs following the passing of the Oregon ballot measure 110. In November 2020, the law was passed 58% voters in the ballot initiative, among other provisions. It directed hundreds of millions of dollars from cannabis tax collections to addiction treatment. However, in 2024, Oregon partially reversed its drug laws, with the governor signing a new law which made possessing small amounts of hard drugs a misdemeanor starting on September 1st, 2024. However, the new law did not require mandatory jail time in all cases or apply to soft drugs, with cannabis tax revenue even still being maintained as a source of funding for drug treatment. The policy intended to redirect people from the criminal justice system and towards treatment. However, critics argued that the law failed to adequately connect with people with drug treatment services, and Oregon saw a continued rise in overdose deaths and public use.
That's a little deal.
Now that's the understanding, but see, you see that? That's exactly what I said right there in that middle part about how they partially reversed it, because they still need to be able to lock people up. They still got to make money off the jail. You know what I'm saying? They still got to make money off the jail. At the same time, though, they don't want to put you in jail for small quantities. They only want to put the drug dealers in jail. Because, like St. Patrick said, because the actual CIA and the pharmaceutical companies want to make that street money now. They're seeing how much profit margin
Because it's hard times.
Right, because
It's
they're
hard
seeing the profit
times.
margin they're losing. They're losing that whole profit margin. Think about it. If somebody's
Listen to me. How much? Look. How many times a nigga need a fix than a nigga need a surgery?
And not only that, right? Think about it. If you're to plug in LA, you're making like 1.5 mil a week, right? Off of this fentanyl. That means that the big pharma could be making that 1.5 mil a week. Yeah, that's what they're thinking about. They want to make the money. They want to make the street money. They want to make it so, the small quantities is not illegal. And you know what else you failed to put up there, Henry? Because they didn't have it in that section, that the government was responsible for selling people to small quantities. They were selling the people to small quantities, where you could go to CVS, Walgreens, Duane Reade, one of them places in Oregon, and you could buy Nick bags and dime bags off the pharmacy, because it wasn't illegal to sell you that small quantity. So that's where the pharmaceutical companies came in. And I guarantee you, if we look deeper into that law, it actually probably says that if you're buying it off people in the street, it's a misdemeanor to a felony, right? But if you're buying the small quantities off of a legitimate source, aka CVS, aka Walgreens, aka Walmart, then it's not illegal for you to have. You know what I'm saying? They want to make it so Big Pharma is collecting that money from the streets.
So
it only makes sense.
Follow the money.
I'm about to cut off and y'all chop it up just for a moment.
Okay. Yeah, but I really, you know what I'm saying? Because I see it, man. I see it, you know what I'm saying, from a financial motivation. When you talk about, all right, you doing this, Trump, you're a businessman, bro. Who making the money, bro? The pharmaceutical, you saying, all right, yeah.
Remember
that you want to curve a market. You want to control a market. You feel me? You got the power to control a certain market.
Let's play this out because this is important for the people, right? You want to bomb Venezuela on Christmas for selling fentanyl, but because you want to get the street level customers, like you said, right? You just said this 2 minutes ago. You know what I'm saying? You're not going to come to our block selling that work. It's our work to sell. And guess what? You're going against the biggest gang on the planet, the United States government.
The fucking big. Look. No. They got a gang bigger than us, but they smaller than us.
Who?
You see?
Who's that?
The small hats.
Yeah, but listen, that's not a gang. That's a cult. There's a difference.
Yeah.
There's a difference.
They all in a bug.
Hey, let's be real. They ain't getting jumped in to be a small hat. You ain't got to get beat up. You know what I'm saying? And I doubt they're tough enough
you gotta
to go through the process.
They ain't nah. All you have to do is get a man to chop off your foreskin and hit that whacker, and you know what I mean, you in.
Listen, either that or you gotta sell somebody in your family to them. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Nah. They all they all satanic. You know, you gotta do some homosexual thing to get in.
They're trying to get these drugs so they can get everybody who's not satanic. If you're not satanic, you know what I mean? You're not with them with that. So they're trying to turn you into demonic. You know what I mean? Like, so you ain't worshiping.
Because that's the only way a demon could jump in your body easier. That's the only way a demon could jump in your body easier. You know what I'm saying? If you on the influence of himself.
Hold on, because now you're getting deep, because this is the spiritual aspect, right? Do you know what fentanyl is used for outside of surgery, outside of just anesthetic. It's one more thing that fentanyl is used for.
What?
When somebody dies and the paramedics come up on you and you are an organ donor, they give your body the fentanyl in order for your body to stop absorbing oxygen so they can get the organs to where they got to go to donate, right? To give it to whoever got to get it. Your kidney, your heart, your lungs, whatever. They got to use the fentanyl. That's what they use on you. If they find you dead in your house, they're going to hit you with the fentanyl. If you was an organ donor or they came in a car accident or whatever, they're going to give you the fentanyl if you're an organ donor because it helps preserve your organs.
Look, now I tell my people, look, my thing is this. If I breathe unconscious, bro, and I can't talk, you know what I'm saying? Don't you worry about organ donor me, no nothing, man. My kids don't need the organ. Cremate my little black ass, bury me all together. Nigga. You ain't chop my body up, no organ donor.
I'm just saying, what's these operational uses for the fentanyl, because a lot of people don't know that it's the type of way. So now think about this, right? This is why I'm saying it. It's a real reason. Because think about it, right? EMS comes up, right? Somebody OD'd off fentanyl, right? But they've been dead for 3 hours already. But the fentanyl's already in their body. So now they don't have to worry about if the organs is going to be bad because they've been dead for 3 hours or whatnot, because they already got the fentanyl in there. So all they got to do is get the organs out and go ahead.
See,
you know what I'm
see
saying?
what they done, look. See what all right. That works on some aspect if you're a low level person, but now they got clones. They'll clone you your perfect organ. You feel me?
Yeah,
They'll
but this is
clone
the
your
thing. You
perfect
gotta
organ.
remember this though. Listen, this
You
is
gotta
the
have
thing.
the money though.
Remember, you're talking to somebody who's on kidney dialysis, right? You're talking to somebody
Yeah,
on kidney dialysis. This is my life right now.
yeah.
I'm talking about. People is out here giving up their life savings for people's organs and necromancy type magic out here, death magic on putting death magic on people to buy the organs, not just death magic where I'm trying to cast a voodoo hex on you, death magic where I'm paying your family members to kill you for the organs.
Yeah.
Oh, yep. I know your cousin matches my organ, so I'll give you $3 million if you take him out so I can take the organs. Oh, yep, we got you. Bing, bing, bing. They want to talk about this stuff, but
Yeah, I already know, man. Look, that's why I'm so particular of my kids. You feel me? And I really be like telling them, man, y'all gotta watch it. Y'all gotta watch y'all surroundings. Y'all gotta be around. Y'all gotta understand how valuable you are. Your skin is valuable. You know what I'm saying? They'll tell you your skin ain't worth nothing, that you're ugly, you're not beautiful. Nigga, that's the most prized thing on your body. That thing is worth millions. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? By the ounce, nigga. You know what I'm saying? They can't even reproduce this shit the normal. You feel me?
Oh, and that's another
Bam,
thing
your
too that
plasma.
don't know.
Your plasma.
That's another thing. But listen, you gotta think about this too, right? Because you was just talking about it, the clones, right? But they can't produce a clone that has neuromelanin. They can't do it.
No.
The clone can't have activated melanin. It's not possible because it's a clone.
No, because it got to activate in the mama womb. Because it got to activate in the darkness.
But it's not going to be. It's still not going to be neuromelanin because they're not. It's not necessarily a natural effect. It's a clone. Because remember, there's a difference. Remember, between a baby and a clone baby, right? In the womb. We're not even going to go into being born. We're just going to say in the womb. In the womb, a natural baby is 2 different strands of DNA to make one, right? A mother and a father.
Yeah.
So that's how the melanin got activated. Because remember because if you've seen on the videos, when the sperm goes into the egg, lightning happens. It flashes light, that's the melanin, right? That's your melanin producing that energy. Boom. You're turning into life now. ignite it. Now the clone doesn't do that because the clone is 100%. They could take my skin cell or my hair follicle and create a whole nother me off of that. But that is not. But
Yeah.
and I talked to ChatGPT about this. That is not a natural human because even though it's my twin, it's gonna be my twin, right? Like my fraternal twin. Even if we're identical, it's my fraternal twin because I was born at a later time than him. I was born earlier than the clone. But the clone is 100% my DNA, meaning that it's not two different people's DNA combining to make a new DNA. It is 100% my DNA. You know what I'm saying? It's 100% your DNA, Patrick. You know what I'm saying? Like, and so, but this is the effect. You want to know the broadened effect. People don't know these things about it. Your clone is not going to be as intelligent as you, as the original. It can't be.
No,
because
it
remember,
can't.
it's the same effect. Like if we go on this computer right now and we take
That's
a
why we
picture,
see Joe Biden the way he was.
no,
That's
but
why we
not
see
only
Joe
that,
Biden the way he was.
but not only that, think about it like this too. It's like when you're on a computer. If you copy a picture and then you paste it, then you copy that picture and you paste it. Every time you copy and paste, you lose details of the original picture. So the same thing with your DNA. Every time they take a picture of you, aka take your DNA from however they're going to take it, and then they produce these clones, the clone doesn't have certain effects you got. And secondly, the clone doesn't have your life experience, meaning that it didn't learn what you learned. It didn't go through what you went through. It doesn't have the same marks on their body, like if you broke your arm when you was a kid or you got your face cut or whatever. It hasn't been through those struggles either, so it doesn't have the wisdom of the struggle. It doesn't have any foreknowledge. And according to what, if they had accelerated aging, like say that they went from being born to being a grown man in 30 days. Yeah, so you're telling me that this is a 30-year-old clone in 30 days. So that means the clone doesn't know anything from age 1 to 30 of growing up and being hot and how to be human. So it only knows how to be human from 30 years old. And remember, it doesn't have your memories or any of that. A lot of the times when the clones know everything about you, it's because they MK Ultra the clone. They use the MK Ultra on the clone. That clone was sitting in there for that 30 days, and that whole 30 days, it was watching the TV monitor, and for that 30 days, it was everything about your life. So it knows who you are, but it doesn't have the experience of being you. But it knows certain things that if they go into a public setting with people who know you, those people are not going to be able to tell that that's the clone unless they have shared experiences with you that they ask the clone about directly, and the clone has no idea. Then that's going to click some. But some people will just think that you forgot. Most people, but people who's tapped in, you'll know. Oh yeah, this person's a clone. They're an NPC now. Non-player controlled, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, for real.
And this fentanyl
Yeah, I see
and all
that.
that, it's just more ways for them to be able to control the minds of the people. Mesmerism, bro. See, people don't
They don't
understand
really.
Hypnotism is easy to spot when people's trying to hypnotize you because they got to do all that extra stuff to hypnotize you with the pendulum and stuff like that. They got to do those things to hypnotize you. Mesmerism is even worse because it uses your instinctual hormonal reactions against you, your biochemistry against you naturally. Like an example, right? If a woman walks by and a man naturally is going to look at her, right? So that's a natural mesmerism. Women have a mesmerism on men like that. where you're going to look at them in that way, because that's how the natural effect of the chemical reaction when you see a woman as a man, you're supposed to react. Your alchemical reaction. And then from there, you use logic to dictate how you're supposed to act in the circumstance. But that's a mesmerism, but because you can't control that to a certain extent. You know what I'm saying? Just like if it's a loud noise, you're going to look. Oh, what was that? Because that's mesmerism. It's an automatic effect on your natural ability to react, right? So that's what they're using with these fentanyls.
God bless.
The fentanyl, these new types of marijuana with the spray on it and all type of stuff, because they're trying to make it so it's easier for us to get hit with the mesmerism, because you can't readily identify when you're getting hit with the mesmerism because it's so natural of an effect. It's hard.
Yeah, because you just fade into it.
That's like right now, think about it like this, say, Patrick, right? That's like right now, if you smell smoke in your house, right? Smoke. I mean, like fire, tinderwood smoke, right? The first thing you're gonna do is be like, yo, is something burning? You can't not react like that, bro. Is something burning in here? You gotta ask your family, is something burning?
So that's why I say, man, look, you talking about, you know what I'm saying? You talking about you trying to save 200,000 people, 200,000 people from illicit drugs, bro. Right?
That they chose to use too.
That you know what I'm saying? To me, that don't make sense, right? Out of all the billions of people that are going hungry in the country, homeless in the country, you gonna start a war with Venezuela and kill their population as well, might as well hurt some Marines, hurt some Army personnel, maybe even get a carrier blown out the water. May anything possible, you know what I'm saying?
Hey,
listen, I'm not putting that past the Venezuelan people. You feel me? I'm not gonna put that past the Venezuelans because it's possible. You know what I'm saying? You never know what might pop off in that situation.
They're gonna get them on Christmas. I've been calling this since November, that they're gonna bomb them on Christmas. Because it only makes sense, bro. It only makes sense because they're not. If Venezuela's not, they're gonna see if Venezuela's gonna be on point or they're gonna be off point because it's Christmas. You know what I'm saying? And I only know that because I know military strategy. I was in the ROTC.
Yeah, that's gut. You know, I know you speaking the truth. I know you speaking 100 on it, but you know that's kind of gutter. You know,
listen.
I don't put it past. I don't put it past my country.
Did the Pilgrims not kill the ancestors on Thanksgiving? Did the Pilgrims not kill the ancestors on Thanksgiving? All right, and did they let's even make it even clearer for the religious folks. Did they not kill Christ on the Passover? All right, then. Come on, bro. You know what I'm saying? So we're talking about the same people right now. We're talking about the same people who's in control. The same people who's in control when they put Christ to death on the Passover. Same people who was in control when the Pilgrims came here on Thanksgiving. It's the same people in control out here surrounded Venezuela, about to bomb them up on Christmas. Feliz Navidad. Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
There's the same people. If anybody in Latin America listening to this, we're letting you know we live in the belly of the beast. This is the Roman Empire, and we're coming to conquer. It's not. Look, listen to me. It's not a personal thing between the citizens and you. It's the thing between your government and our government. Your government feel like they're in our spectrum.
But remember who's in control. It's the Babylonians over there in the Middle East. You know, the Babylonians, the small hats, the converts.
No, the small hats. No, listen to me. They got their little territory. Yeah. The little Babylonians, they got their little territory in Jerusalem.
And remember, what does
but
the
they
Babylon
over
do?
here.
Babylon controls Rome, bro. Babylon controls Rome.
Yeah, for real.
That's the
And
that's
then they
the head
over
of the
look,
beast.
they're over here and they in the Empire State controlling everything.
Listen. I don't want to hear it in the Empire State, bro. They're in everybody's entire states. Let's go. What state in America doesn't
For
have
real.
these? And what
Are they
state in
everywhere?
America are they not in control? And then you know what's even
None.
crazier? You know what's even crazier? Because I work in retail, right? So I see the products. These people, how about this? This is going to be an eye opener for a lot of Americans, right? Especially Christians. These people, the converts, they don't believe in Christmas. They don't celebrate that. They don't believe in Christ being the Messiah or none of that stuff that applies to Christmas or whatever they want to do, whatever they want to say. But guess what? All the Christmas decor, all the Christmas candy, all of that stuff is produced by convert corporations. I know because I seen the products. I see the products every day. I scan them out. Bing, bing, bing. It's them. How do I know? Because it says right on the thing, Aleph, and then it has the Hebrew sign for Aleph, A, on there, on where the barcode is at. You know what I'm saying? So this company Aleph is making all the Christmas decoration. It's making all the Christmas candy, all the Christmas style gifts. But guess what? Them folks don't celebrate Christmas, though. How does it make sense? Make it make sense. Make it make
What
sense,
you
right?
mean? No. It makes sense. It makes perfect sense. Let me explain this. There was a Muslim farmer who sold pork. Right? There's a Muslim farmer who sold pork. The Christians one day asked him, since you don't eat pork, why you always selling pork? He say, shit, nigga, they feed my family, huh?
Not only that, in the Babylonian Talmud, that the small hats read and they practice their Judaism out of, and it says in there that, which also was re-quoted in the Quran, that you can sell poison to your enemies. But that's against the Torah, though. Hold on, but I want to make sure we have this crystal clear for everybody. But that's against the Torah, though. Because the Torah says that in the law, in Leviticus, you're not even supposed to deal with that stuff at all. You're not supposed to have your hand in it. You're not supposed to have your hand
touch it, yeah.
You're not supposed to touch it at all. So that means that's including anything poisonous. That means fentanyl. That means you're not supposed to be selling alcohol. That means you're not supposed to be selling anything that's considered poisonous to people's health for consumption. You're not supposed to sell that at all. You know, and I like to bring these things out against these converts who they study and they go through the Babylonian Talmud, their practice, because there's a difference between the Israelis, the converts. They practice Judaism, which goes out of the Babylonian Talmud. And then you have the Israelites, the Hebrew Israelites, who follow the Torah. The Torah is Yahweh. The Torah, see, people don't know. Following the Torah is not Judaism. That's not Judaism. Following the Babylonian Talmud is Judaism. It's Yahwism if you're following the Torah. That means you're following the God Yahweh. If you're following the Babylonian Talmud, I don't know how, if in the Bible and in the Torah, it tells you not to follow the ways of Babylon, and it and the small hats and the converts, they want to try to downplay it. They say that's why they always say the Talmud, but the real legitimate name for it is the Babylonian Talmud, which Babylon or Babylonian in Hebrew means confusion. The confused. You're confused. If you're following anything Babylonian, you're confused. You know what I'm saying? Think about it. Think about the confusion, right? Let's play the game with the fentanyl. The fentanyl is the best thing. This is what the show's about. So we can tie it all together. Donald Trump and them is talking about executive order, weapons of mass destruction, fentanyl. We going into Venezuela. We're bombing niggas up.
Bro,
Hold on, let me do it. Let me say this.
I agree with you.
We
Go ahead.
bombing niggas up. We bombing niggas up. But then the confusion comes in. Because it's like, but we gonna sell it though. But we're going to sell it to you now. We're going to bomb them up for doing it. But we're going to sell it to you now. We're going to sell it to you. We're going to sell it to you legally, legitimately. You don't got to go to jail if you buy it off us. But if you buy it off your plug on the corner, we're going to jail.
Yeah, we going to get him. We going to get him and we going to get you too. If you don't tell us where he at, what he doing, and how much he got, and you don't give us all that information when we come and get him, you going to jail too.
You going in the Bing. And then on top of that, right?
We ain't gonna give you no rehabilitation.
Hold on,
we ain't gonna give you rehabilitation. We gonna give you time.
Hold on,
so you can fill up the prison system.
You're skipping a part real quick. Because
what I'm skipping?
So the part where he's snitching, right? They know who he's snitching on and how much they already had, XYZ, because that CIA sold them XYZ amount. They know who that is with it, but they can't give up their cover, so they're not gonna just run up in there with the warrant, knowing they could get the warrant for what they know, but then it's gonna give them up. So now they're gonna get somebody on the street to snitch when they didn't even need to snitch. They just need them to take the fall with the people in the streets. Oh, so-and-so was snitching. That's why he got bagged up. Not realizing it's your plug who got you bagged up. It's the plug. All you got to do is watch Snowfall. You seen how Teddy was trying to get Franklin jammed up every time. But Franklin was just smart enough to be in a position where Teddy couldn't get him. If Teddy tried to get him, Teddy would get jammed up. You know what I'm saying? That's why what happened. I'm not going to get too deep into that, but you know, that's the same thing that's happening out here in the streets. The detectives is selling.
Yeah, I already look. Listen to me. Man, me going through what I went through, you feel me, and my criminal dumbness. You feel me? Messing with the drugs and stuff like that. I realized, like, motherfucker, you tripping, nigga. If you really wanted to be a drug dealer, you should have joined the CIA. You know what I'm saying? You out here road dogging it.
Join the CIA. Just bring your ass to school. Hold on, let's
get a pharmaceutical license.
Get a pharmaceutical license. And not only that, hold on. And let's put people all the way on. You could go get a job at CVS or Walgreens right now, and they'll pay for you to get them degrees and them certificates. They'll pay for you while you're working there. They'll pay for you to go get the certificate to be working the pharmacy. Now you got the certificate, pharmaceutical technician. Now they're going to pay for you to become the pharmacist, where you can distribute the pills. You can possess the pills. You know what I'm saying? Like, because that's how it works over there. You got to have the FBI numbers and all that type of stuff in order to even access them safes. You know what I'm saying? And them safes ain't like, oh, we're going to put the numbers in and then it's going to open. Nah, that John's open in 3 hours from now, 4 hours from now. I put the code in right now to open it, but you still got to wait 4 hours before that door is going to pop open. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
they're
Because the
crazy.
feds got to control
Bro,
they
so let's
dope,
say,
nigga.
yo,
They got
listen.
control they dope, nigga. They ain't not
Right.
giving
So
up no
what
dope,
kind of,
nigga. That's that
listen,
dope
what
money, nigga.
kind of
That's a $1
drugs?
billion industry.
Listen, what kind of drug dealer doesn't have the drugs in a safe? Even the legitimate drug dealers got the drugs in the safe. You know what I'm saying? Bricks, whole bags. They got the whole bags, like 1,000 milligram Johns. You know what I'm saying? Like they got everything, my boy. Like these people is out here. They're like, now they got the Oregon type shit going on. Oh, yep, we can sell you a dime bag of fentanyl if you come to CVS. But if you buy it in the streets, we're gonna give you a misdemeanor the first time. Second time, it's a felony.
No.
You're going to jail.
See, you don't understand. No, it don't work. See, they diabolical. They diabolical. This is how it works out. We gonna do a bond lottery, right? You say what a bond lottery is. All right, we gonna jack your bond up to like 100,000. See if you can bond your ass out, nigga. If you can't afford that, you out the tier. You feel me? We
That's an
gonna
automatic
lower it
10K
down.
too, right there.
Yeah, look, yeah. Look, you know what I'm saying? If you can't get that high bond, bro, we gonna lower it for you. Now you're in the next tier, right? You're in the next tier. We want now in this tier, that means we're likely to put a little ankle monitor on your ass, right? So you gotta pay us for that ankle monitor. While you run around the street, you gonna pay us, right? You gonna pay us, right?
They ain't gonna be
to
putting
come in.
their ankle monitors soon. They gonna be hitting niggas with RFIDs, so you can't even take that John off.
Yeah, then but look, then when they do that, they gonna say, "Oh yeah, you got high. Come in and pay us for the extra
Hey,
$5 fee."
Listen, that's gonna be terrible too, because you know they gonna be getting them because once they got that ID chip in there and it can read your blood, oh, it's all over. They gonna be like, yo,
It's over with.
we know you was doing XYZ, so the bill on them charges is XYZ. You know what I'm saying?
Bitch, you didn't get permit from us. You ain't get permission from us.
Go to probation. You gonna be talking about you smoked 4 blunts last week. We need $400.
Hey, you didn't get permission from us.
Right now. You get violated.
Yeah.
You don't got 400.
You get violated.
You know
Off the dump. Off the dump.
And you know how rough they play the system too. Because they'll be like, oh, you got our 400, you're still violated. Get in there. They'll take the 400 and still violate you.
Yeah.
You're still violated because you didn't pay.
And then you know what? Then look, while you're writing a petition to the judge and the state people to see if you could get a different PO, you know what they do? Oh yeah, you do the 90-day turnaround. look, you do that 90-day turnaround, and you go right back to that same nigga, and he tells you shit like this. What you thought you was gonna get away from me? You thought it was over with? Nah, nigga, you gotta do the same time, nigga. You in here for several years. You out here for 7 years on probation. Nigga, this is my job. Don't take it personal. I'm just here to collect the money.
And you know what else they gonna do, right? You know what else they can do? They'll do you like they tried to do Chief Keef over there, hard body. You wasn't he was just in the music video and people were smoking. He had a clean drug test. And they still threw him in there on a parole violation off of other people smoking around him. Not even.
Yeah, you can't be. You can't. Yeah, because you can't. You cannot be around criminal activity. That's what it's parole. That's the stipulation of parole.
Bro, that's what's crazy.
You have to get away from them, or you have to report them. You have to become a snitch for the state.
That's not gonna work because what if you're in a place like New York City where it's legal? You know what I'm saying? And
it don't matter.
And no, but I'm saying, he's from Chicago. You know what I'm saying? They're still gonna hit him off because in Chicago it's illegal. In New York they can't do nothing. But when he goes back
Bingo.
to
That
parole in Chicago, they're gonna be like,
yes.
"We seen you shooting your music video. We know it's legal
In
in
New
New York,
York.
but it's not legal for you."
Bingo. Bingo. Bingo.
And that's how they be
See,
playing us, bro.
that's
That's
see
how they be
because you
playing
know why
everybody out
I
here.
say ultimately because we haven't set up our own state within the state system. You feel me?
Yeah, because you
We
gotta think
haven't
about it. What is a
coalesced.
state? What is a state? What is state short for? State is short for a phrase, a certain legal phrase. State of being. Your state of being. What's your state of being right now, St. Patrick?
Oh shit, nigga. My state of being is California.
See, that's your state that you're in. That's not your state of being. Your current
Oh
state
no,
of
no,
being
my
is
state
your
of being shit, yeah. Now, you know what I'm saying? My state of being always Wichita, man. It don't matter where I go, what I am.
you're
You know what I'm saying?
human.
I
You know
always
what I'm
represent.
saying? That's your state of
Yeah.
being, right?
No,
Human. You're human.
no. I don't look. I declassify myself as a human being, bro. I classify myself as my family. You feel me?
Right, but
My
you
tribe.
understand what I mean. Your state of being, you're a human being. So you have to, that's your current state of being. You understand what I mean?
Yeah,
Just
yeah. I
like
get you. I get
water, just like ice water vapor. You know what I'm saying? It's your
you.
state of being
Yeah,
as a human. You're
yeah,
human, right?
yeah.
So you're saying, oh, but I'm in my current state is California. So your current state of being is California. Now, how that executes on you is now that's a municipality. You just acknowledge that the state of California has municipality over you. Meaning the state of California controls your environment. That's what you just admitted in your state of being when you said that my state is California, right? So you got to understand your state of being right now is you are a human being in the municipality of the state of California. What do you got to follow? You got to follow those certain laws and etiquette of being a human being in the state of California. You know what I'm saying? It's municipal,
Yeah,
meaning it's the same for everybody, right? It's municipal.
yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
yeah. But
And
you
then
know that's why I say.
whether or not you follow the municipality, now it becomes a principality. Because if you're following the laws of the state of being, that means now they have the ability to govern you, right? This is a civics at 101, Black's Law Dictionary. Everything I'm saying, you can look it up. It's a fact, right? And remember, a human in Black's Law Dictionary is described as being a monster. That is your state.
Yeah, being a mom.
You're a monster, right? Now, people don't understand what is a monster, even though they're going to think, everybody thinks horror movie.
A sea creature.
People want to think horror movie when they hear monster.
No,
but
it's
that's
a sea creature.
No, it's not even, bro. Because remember, well, you're right technically, but technically it's not right because when you say the sea, what sea are you talking about? We're actually talking about outer space, the firmament. We're not talking about under the ocean, right? Because a mon star, when you break it down into two words, a mono and a star. Mono meaning one, and then star, one star. You're one of the stars. So the star in the sky is one. You're one of them. You're one of those stars in the sky. That's the spirit projected, right? Because everything in this life is an illusion of projection, right? So me and you right now, everybody else in the world, all the stars in the sky. That's why if you go back in time, there's less stars the further back in time you go. The further forward in time you go, the higher the population of the earth, the more stars in the sky. Because you have to think about it like the old movie film projector. I'm here because my star in the sky is projecting the light down and it's giving me the ability to have physical motion in reality. Just like if we was playing those old films and it shows the light through the film projector and it makes moving pictures. You know what I'm saying? It's the same concept. It's the same concept. See, and this is where people don't understand about the fentanyl. The fentanyl disconnects you from that light source. Remember,
Yeah, cause
we already know
the connection.
the truth. Hold on, let's say it. We already know the truth. Because oxygen, what we call oxygen, the chemical element oxygen, is the breath that the Most High gave us when he breathed into Adam and made him a living being, right? Self-possession.
Yeah.
Because without oxygen, this is proven fact, Yaqui Awakening and CIA documents declassified, that without oxygen, we have no consciousness. Meaning you could be alive without breathing, but you're never going to regain consciousness. That's why if you notice people who be on a vegetable in the hospital, they be completely vegged out, no consciousness. That's because that the oxygen can't activate the part of their brain that receives your spiritual download, the seat of your brain, right? Where your spirit, your soul resides in order to control this machine that we call a body, you know? The monster, right? The actual vessel. That's why when they go in court, that's why when you go in court, you notice they always ask you, see, and a lot of people ain't going to get this. When they ask you if you're guilty or not guilty, how do you plead? You have to say that you're the captain of the vessel. Not guilty or not guilty or no contest. You don't plead nothing other than you're the captain of the vessel. If you're the captain of the vessel, then that means that you are there as your natural self. You're in control of your body, not the municipality in control of you. Because when you go in there and you say, I'm guilty, or you go in there and you say, not guilty, or whatever, you're telling the municipality that you're under their laws. You're under it. You're under their laws. But if I'm a captain of my own vessel, that means I go only by the natural laws, the common law, by the laws of me being the captain of the vessel, the ocean, the law of the ocean, right? Because remember, we're spirits, so we're in the firmament right now. The air is the firmament, part of the firmament. So we're in the ocean already right now because it's water vapor. It's just spread out. If they condense it, it's going to turn to water. So you have to understand, if you're saying, I plead not guilty, and now you know what you just did is you subjugated yourself to becoming a minor, because now you need representation, a lawyer, right? You need representation. You need an adult, somebody who knows the rules. You see what I'm saying? It's crazy work. How they try to play with us, right? And it goes into the fentanyl stuff, because look it, they know if you're a drug addict, you can't be the captain of your vessel. How are you in control if you're not at the wheel, right? How are you in control if you're not at the wheel? So then what do you become? If there's no captain of the abandoned vessel, that means that's a pirate ship. And that gives the state that's the solid state, right? By solid state, I mean, the most compact, meaning the one that's the most in control. The solid state has to be the municipality. So the state of California is now in possession of your pirated vessel. It's pirated because ain't no captain. You know what I'm saying? So now they're gonna, you're adrift. Now you're adrift. You know what I'm saying? Because you wanted to drift away and get high. Now the captain is considered, the boat is considered adrift. You're considered adrift now. So that's an abandoned vessel. You know the law, squatters' rights, right?
Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
Finders keepers, right? So the state is gonna, so these people's all messed up on the fentanyl. So they're going to court for a misdemeanor charge, not even gonna get jail time based on what the Oregon law said. Not even gonna get jail time. They're just there for the misdemeanor. So we know what's really
Nah,
why
we gonna put you on probation.
Nah, they want you to be the ward of the state. They want to own you.
Yeah.
They own you now.
You
Once you
know
go
what I'm saying?
once you go
So
there
you
for
add
drug
up the misdemeanors, now you're a felon.
Hey, Henry, we need you back here real quick because I need you to reference that again. I need him to reference something real quick because we had it in the other show where they show in the new federal guidelines that drug addiction is considered a mental illness. Bro, I'm telling you, when Henry, listen,
no wonder they had to decriminalize marijuana.
Listen, bro,
that makes perfect sense.
Listen, bro.
When everybody smoking bud, nigga,
I had to have him repeat it to me several times when he read it. He had to reread it. I'm like, yo, read that again because I gotta hear that again. So drug addiction is considered a mental illness now. Like literally where you could be on drugs and collect Social Security benefit, all that, and be a ward of the state, right? But still be a legitimate crackhead in the street, not do nothing, and the government's giving you the money to get high. Basically, your Social Security check, because you know that's what their Social Security checks is going to. They're going to go smoke their rocks or whatever.
No. Some people. I'm not gonna say everybody got a Social Security check.
No, I'm talking about those people who get Social Security off of the stipulation of drug addiction as a mental illness.
Yeah.
I'm not talking about myself, my nigga. You know what I'm saying? I get Social Security, but I'm not out here.
I'm just saying, you know. Some people might take your words, take your words out of context. You feel me?
Right,
and try to twist it.
Hey, I understand that part. I'm glad that you said that because I'm not talking about everybody on Social Security. I'm talking about the people who's claiming drug addiction as a mental illness to get Social Security.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I know some people they really fucking y'all need it. You know what I'm saying? Niggas going through shit. They really need that shit.
But we ain't talking about people who actually, you know what I'm saying? This is why I was aghast for that. I was like, listen. So you're telling me that crackheads and heroin addicts is getting whole Social Security checks out here, but you're telling me
they need it. The feds made this to me. The feds fucked them up.
Hold on. And then the feds want to tell people like myself and others who's legitimately ill and legitimately have problems, you know what I mean, issues, that they might not be able to pay our Social Security. But yet you're putting new clauses into the law so you can pay for these people who's drug addicts instead of sending them to treatment. Instead of sending them to treatment or trying to get them well. Now you're trying to classify them as security so they could just, you know what it is, like you said already. It's to keep
understand.
back in.
I understand. You know what I'm saying? I mean, like this. It's a dirty game. It's a very, very dirty game. You feel me? Now, the people that think, if you think, man, all right, man, I've been living in this country, man, right, 42 some years. And I really was like, man, it's the greatest country in the world. You know, we defeated the Soviet Union. You know what I'm saying? We the world superpower now. Nigga, we could accomplish everything that we need to accomplish. We could heal homelessness. We could do this. We could do that. You know, we could make America really a land where everybody really envious. You know what I'm saying? Not just like, oh, that's the land to get money and hurry up and run, but a land where everybody could be proud.
We gotta have an understanding, right? America is a legend, right? It's a legend. It's a legend because it was prophesied about in the ancient time, right? They already knew one day America was coming. Now America's here. But the thing is, we got to realize as American citizens, as American indigenous people, and as American immigrants, you know what I'm saying? Because you know what I mean, a lot of these people is not from here initially, their ancestry. But the thing about it is, America is a balance, bro. It's a balance. It's a perfect balance, right? It's a perfect balance of righteousness and wickedness. You know what I'm saying? Righteousness, because we got all these charities, we got people in America. Because remember, we got some of the best, most honorable, respectful people, righteous people in the world that live here. People who help the homeless, people who's helping people with cancer, people who's helping people with AIDS, people who's helping people like myself with the kidney dialysis, et cetera, so on and so forth, right? But we also got the other side of the coin, you know what I mean? You can't have the good without the bad. America might be helping certain countries, but then in other countries, we're terrorizing them. We're colonizing them, right?
Yes.
But at the end of the day, then you got to ask yourself a question. If we're terrorizing these countries and we're colonizing these countries, so the people of those countries really, do they care about that? Not really, because you know why? Because now they can just immigrate to America and say asylum. Now they can say, "Oh well, we got to get out of Venezuela."
A small fraction of them.
We're not selling drugs, and we need to get out of Venezuela. We need asylum. You know what I'm saying? And that's how they get people in here with that. You know, that's how they was doing it when the border was open. That's why they got ICE running around here looking like chickens with their head cut off, trying to take people back to their country. And it's because it's part of the balance, bro. You can't be destabilizing countries and thinking that they're not going to come here. You can't be out here distributing the fentanyl and not expecting people to overdose. You can't be out here distributing narcotics as the government from a governmental level and then not expecting regular people to be getting knocked off and going to jail. You know what I'm saying? Even the pharmacists can get knocked off for giving you too many pills.
You creating the pandemic. You creating the circumstances for people to go through these things.
Remember, that's called the Hegelian dialectic. That's a Babylonian tactic, the Hegelian dialectic. And most people don't know what the Hegelian dialectic is, but it's when they expose you to a problem, so you react to the problem, and they sell you the solution to the problem that they caused in order for you to have the reaction. So people's overdosing off fentanyl because the CIA is selling the fentanyl to the street dealers who's selling it to the customers who's overdosing. And then it gets, and then the system gets rewinded because now the plug gets knocked off, the user gets knocked off, the CIA just goes find somebody else to do it. You know, and let's realize something else too. In the 1982, when the CIA created rap music, it was to advertise drug sales. See, people don't understand hip hop and rap. Hip hop and rap is to advertise drugs. No, all hip hop is to advertise drug use. Even if it's on a subliminal effect, meaning that you might not think this song is about drug use, but I guarantee you there's entendres and all type of stuff through there subliminally that the CIA mixed in, that's gonna get you to those modes. You know what I'm saying? In the beat frequency, because remember, they don't even need to put the lyrics. Your lyric sheet could be talking about, you know what I mean, birds in the sky, right? But the wave frequency of the music, is the electromagnetic frequency of the music could be attuned to fentanyl. So when they're vibrating that, the people who's susceptible when they hear that music, even though it's a song about birds flying and blah, 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 it's a good song, because of the frequency, they gonna have you ready to go do the fentanyl because the vibration, the certain wave frequency generation. Hey Henry, can you bring that out for the people that reference that you had that said that drug addiction is now a mental illness by the federal government from that other show?
Yes, you got. I said, what tea is this? Yeah.
We got to drop that bomb on these people because we got to keep hitting them over the head with the information so they know we're not speaking opinions, we're speaking facts out here. And remember that. And you know, St. Patrick, what's the craziest thing too? People need to take our word for it because we've been in these streets moving these materials in our youth. You know what I'm saying?
Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, look, you know,
we learned our lessons, right?
Yeah, I'm out of there. I'm out of there. I learned from both sides of the fence. You feel me? I had the first. I jumped off the porch when I was young because I was going through some shit. You feel me? And I didn't know better. You feel me? Then,
hey, see, that's the difference between me and you. You was forced into that lifestyle, right? Me,
yeah.
I chose to go to that lifestyle. I didn't have to. I could have just did whatever. I could have went to college. I could have got an education. I could have went a whole different route. But
yeah, I wasn't no trust in me.
You know what I mean?
I wasn't no. Yeah, exactly. I'm saying I wasn't no trust.
And that's what you gotta think about. That's what I'm talking about. Like how this game is crazy. How because remember, it's all part of the programming, right? They made it so you felt like you had no choice but to do that.
Because the simple fact, all right, now
on the same token, they made somebody like me feel like it was a choice. I gotta do this because it's like a trial or like running the gauntlet. Like you gotta do it to prove your merit.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying.
Where in my neighborhood, that was one of the things for a lot of people. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, that's one of those generational curses. That's one of those generational curses.
You had nigga, you want to run with us? Oh yeah, you got to get your hands dirty. We got to know you got to get your hands dirty.
Hey, listen, but bro, let's be honest though. That's in everything, bro. That's in everything. Even the most legitimate jobs, they be wanting you to get your hands dirty. You know what I'm saying?
You gotta get your hands.
They always be trying to do some goofy stuff like that. Even corporate America, you know what I'm saying? They always trying to do some goofy stuff like that.
Yeah, you got to pull this barrel down this drain right here. You know, you're like, what is in the barrel? But then when where it's going, it's gonna hurt somebody, huh? Nah, don't worry about that. Just go ahead and pull the barrel down the drain. Yeah, now when you finish with it now. When you finish with pouring this stuff down the drain now, don't worry, just set the barrels over here on the can. We gonna get rid of that for you. Don't even
listen, how many people working at listen, how many people, and I'm gonna make it so simplistic for the viewers. How many people working at fast food gotta do that with the sanitizing agents all the time? Or they gotta dump the grease and they don't got that the grease they already passed with, and the people's coming to pick up the grease, so they're dumping the grease down the drain and stuff like that. Dumping the chemicals they ain't supposed to be dumping down the drain. Drain.
Nah, see, they got chemical scrub, all that shit.
No, but I'm saying that you're not supposed to do that.
What's in those chemicals? But what's in them chemicals to clean the pipes out? Oh, you don't want to drink that shit.
That's what.
But they recycle that same water. Hear me out. Hear me out. The same shit you talking about. Same shit, right? The same shit. You got to drink that. They gonna recycle that, and you gonna drink it, and you gonna think, oh, it should be all right for me, all right? Nah, it ain't. It ain't. Just that's why you got an over amount of cancer. You know what I mean? It ain't called Cancer Alley for nothing. You feel?
Hey, you got it, yo. And if you ain't on the cancer, they got you in the fentanyl drip.
They
Even
gonna
in the
get you some
cancer,
kind of way, bro.
no, hey, you didn't heard me when they got you with the cancer, then they
Yeah,
got you with the fentanyl drip. You know what I'm saying? The drip.
yeah.
I see people with the
They
John all
yeah,
the time. Bro, when I be in dialysis, some people be messed up. You know what I'm saying? That they be having the morphine and them type drips where they be having to have them Johns with them. You know what I'm saying? I be feeling bad for some of them people. You know what I mean? Because God forbid I ever get to that state. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I've
yeah.
been there. I've been there before where I've been in a bad physical state. But you know what I mean? You got to get out of that. You can't see that's one of the things too. A lot of this stuff that we're talking about in these shows, when it comes to these personal issues like fentanyl, marijuana, it doesn't matter what kind of drugs it is. When it comes to how you want to use your vote, etc., it's all about your will. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, what you will
Yeah.
or what you won't do. You know what I mean? It's what you
To
will or what
me,
you
to
won't.
me, I've always said, you know what I'm saying, we should decriminalize all of it across the board. So when you do that, you have an open market and a free market, and anybody could get whatever they want. And if they taking it, that's on they buy. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, and
That's
not
on
only
their
that
choice.
too.
Because they give
Not
them
only that,
freedom
you
of choice.
can't. Right, and because that's actually the natural law, right? That's the God-given laws, right? Of the common laws, natural laws, the divine right. That you have the divine right to free will, meaning that you could make whatever choice you want to make if you're willing to live with the
Yeah.
consequences, right?
Yeah.
So them trying to enforce non-drug use on people who choose drug use, it's like telling somebody who's a computer programmer they can't never use a computer again. You got to think about that, right? That's like telling somebody who's a gamer, who's a professional
No.
gamer, that they can't play the
That's
game
like
ever again.
that's like telling a guy who's a habitual father he can't make another kid again.
See, that's why this is America. You know? That's where.
You know,
That's why I don't. That's why personally I don't vote. I don't vote personally because I go by the natural law of self-determination. I can choose for myself. I don't need anybody to enforce laws
yeah,
upon me. I know how to I
because
know how to I know how to operate accordingly in society. So I don't need people to tell me how
somebody,
to
you know,
operate.
people might take me the wrong way, but when I say this, if you believe he gave us the light, you know what I'm saying, then why not let it shine? You feel me?
Yeah, but guess what? Even if
You
God gave you the light, you also got the right to dim your light and be in the darkness if that's what you want. If you want to choose that.
yeah, I know. I
You have
don't.
to,
To
hey,
me,
but you gotta
to
remember
me,
that's
it
your
was.
choice. That's
Yes,
the
your
thing
choice.
about your
It
choice.
should be. It should be. It should. It should. You know what I'm saying? Because I feel like this. There's some things out there I would love to get my hands a hold to. You know what I'm saying? Why should I be restricted from getting my hands a hold to? You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, there are things in this world I feel like I want. You know what I'm saying? I at least should be able to experience it once in my lifetime and say, all right, yeah, I did it. You feel me? You know, some
Hey,
people might feel like climbing Mount Everest is a hike to them. So, you know what I'm saying? Some people, achievement is expanding their mind. You feel me? They don't have to go nowhere. They can just expand their mind and they feel like, all right, cool, I did that. It's all right. You know. Uh
I
hey,
I love
I want
traveling in New York City.
you like the Empire State?
Yeah.
Uh
But outside of that, y'all had good talking points. I was in the background, I had a lot of noise. But in life, I I'm too cheap. This is my vision. I'm too cheap to get hooked on fentanyl or any other hard illicit drug, because I just seen how it impact people. I don't want to be on no corner when it's cold, homeless, no
See, you looking
end
at the
avenue.
extreme. You looking at the extremes of it.
Wait, I need them extremes in my mind, so I don't do these type of things. I'm not trying to find no justification. I'm looking at the extreme. I cannot do it. So for the
I gotta
people
agree with Henry on this. I'm an
who
extremist, right?
like,
Because
I feel
I'm with you, Henry, 100%. Because in life, it's only two extremes, right? It's either the extreme right thing to do or it's the extreme wrong thing to do. There's no in between. Like, you know what I'm saying?
There's no in between. All right, look. All right, listen.
Listen, there's only comfortable. There's only the level of either it's good or it's bad that you're comfortable with.
it's
You
like
know what I'm
this.
saying? That's what you
You
believe. That's what people
look,
believe is the in between. It's just a level of comfortability that you
look.
have. It's a level of comfortability that you have with one extreme or the other at a certain amount of the extreme.
I'm like this. You smoke crack or you don't. It's
Right?
not. I'm a part-time crack smoker.
Right?
No.
And it's not. And then remember,
Uh,
and let's hold on, Henry. Let's play the game with it, right? Because we got to clarify for the people, right? What I'm saying. So you know how they be like, oh, he's a functional addict. He's a functional addict, right? A functional addict means that they're in the extreme of their user, but they use it at a comfortable level. At a comfortable, that's why I'm air quoting it, at a comfortable level. At a comfortable level, but they're like Henry just said, you still a crackhead, though. I don't care if you go to work every day. I don't care if you take care of your kids. I don't care about none of that. If you're smoking crack, you are a crackhead. It doesn't matter if I'm but I'm a functional
So
addict, though.
look. Listen to me. My grandma used to say this: "You're a dope head. It don't matter what drug you do, what you taking, what pill you popping, what bottle you twisting, what jug you jabbing, what you huffing, what you puffing. You a dope head. Point blank. You know what I'm saying? Either you a
okay.
straight lace and you don't do no drugs, or you're a dope head. You know, me
Okay.
personally,
Listen.
I don't
Hey,
take that. I don't take that stance. I don't take that stance. I take more of a stance like this. If you can maintain your drug, do it. But if you can't maintain it and it's getting over you, then you need to quit it.
guess
You
what? You
feel me?
still an
Because
addict,
there
though, at
are
the end
some
of the day,
things.
though. Hold on. Because you got to realize what it's saying with the extremes, right? That means you're just saying that to understand what you're saying in a psychological effect, right? You're saying that you're comfortable with people doing the drugs as long as they're functional.
Yes.
See? Yeah, which goes hand in hand with them doing the comfortability of the drugs because they are functional.
Yeah.
The functionality of it. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But
Because I can
they're
tell
not
you, I
in the
look.
extreme outcome, just because they don't have the extreme outcome of using
Yeah.
those drugs, doesn't
Yeah.
mean they are not that the extreme terms of the definition of that does not apply to them anymore. Of course, it still applies 100%. If you're doing crack, you're still a crackhead. I don't care if you got a Bentley. I don't
So let me.
care if
All
you
right. All
got a
right. So if you
mansion.
did,
I don't care if you're worth
what would
$25
you
billion.
call a person that did LSD?
That's somebody that's a psychedelic. That's a psychedelic.
All right. All
That's
right. What
still
about
that's still
Shroom?
And that's still psychedelic. That means that this person has a comfortability with doing psychedelic and psychotropic drugs. That means they don't have a quarrel with using these drugs in a functional or a dosage type of way in order for them to maintain their living. Because obviously if they're doing shrooms or they're doing psychedelics and they're still functioning in their everyday life, they know they can't do psychedelics and then go to work.
I'm like this. When it come down to the shrooms, I'm cheap. It was a sometime affair. But trying it didn't have me into addicting manner. Getting drawn to it like I gotta have it every day like a cigarette. That's what I'm talking about in my speed, that the addiction part.
You're talking about when it becomes habitual?
Yes.
No, addiction. Addiction is like when you craving for this shit, you know what I'm saying?
That's what
Relentless
Yeah,
like
that's
a
habitual.
cigarette.
It's
Yeah, that's
habitual.
that shit. Yeah. That shit right there
Addiction
hurts you
is
because
not.
that's your financial
Listen,
well.
listen.
That's what I'm saying.
Addiction is the explanation for the craving. But what you guys is describing is not addiction. That's habitual. It's habitual. If you gotta, if you're doing it every day, all the time for that, that's because it's a habit. It's not just because, remember, a craving is like, if right now I want to eat a bag of chips and then I eat a bag of chips, that's a craving. But if every day at 5 o'clock I eat a bag of chips, that's habitual. That's a habit. That's not an addiction. That's a habit now. Because it's scheduled maintenance.
Yeah.
So that makes it a habit. Now it's habitual. If I'm out here every day, 10 a.m., smoking a blunt when I wake up, wake and bake, that's habitual. Because you're doing it every day at that exact moment in time, at that exact day, and then the next day at the same time, and then so on and so forth.
So now that becomes financially exhausting, and also it becomes, you know what I'm saying? Well, I'm not just doing it habitually, but nigga, I need this shit. Nigga, I'm about to go wham for this shit. Nah, ain't about to do that. I ain't about to be no crash dummy for no shit like that.
That
I ain't about
type
to
of
crash.
mentality.
And that's what Henry was talking about, why he was assessing it like that.
Yeah, that type of mentality made me like, no. I'm not a good thief. I don't steal. Because if I do, I get caught because it's not in me. I'm telling y'all top right here, it's not in me to steal. And I like to eat. I don't buy a lot of stuff. I like to save money. I like to look at money. I don't like to give it out like that. So, nope. It's very stressful.
Me and you is different. I see. I don't like to spend a lot of money either, but I buy food that is gonna be like appropriate, even if I have to spend a little bit extra for my situation. You know what I'm saying? Like usually like to buy protein bars or stuff like that that keeps you more in those
that's necessity.
Nutrition.
Yeah.
You know, you got to invest in your nutrition. So it's not always easy to just buy regular food and to invest in your nutrition. It's expensive. And that's habitual too, bro. That's I ain't gonna lie to you. That's an addiction too. That becomes an addiction too. Trust me.
So
Exercising, eating the right foods, taking the right supplements, that type of stuff, that becomes an addiction too. That becomes a habitual addiction too. You know,
I
because
should have, you know what I'm saying? I should have got some good documentaries to throw at the, you know what I'm saying, throw it the public way to let them know that, you know what I'm saying, there's a lot of CIA programs identified in the American population, how they use the media, how they use the musicians, how they would take them on tours to distribute drugs around the United States, how they got a lot of young people
hey,
in the hippie era, you know what I'm saying, addicted to drugs, and how they're doing that now, you know what I'm saying,
and
getting people addicted to drugs
don't forget they're
and
using
causing
them CIA agents. They're using them CIA agents too in Hollywood and in the music to go overseas and move the drugs too. And
yeah.
hold on, and to serve as operators in those countries. Like if they
Yes.
go, like if I'm a rapper, right, and I'm famous, and I go to England and I go to the UK, I might have a couple of shows over here for 2 or 3 weeks, but in that 2 or 3 weeks time, I also got a mission that I got to execute as a different personnel. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm not trying to get too crazy with
Yeah.
it. You know what I'm
No,
saying?
no,
That's
no.
special
That's
operating.
the truth. It's the truth. It's the truth. These people, you know, if even if it's not you, it's your right hand man on the side. It's your
Right.
handler. You feel me? It's your handler that's doing the things that you think, oh, this is just my promoter, or this is my guy the industry gave me, my consultant, you know, my image consultant. You know what I'm saying? That's what they doing. You
Your
feel me?
publicist.
That's what, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, you know, they got their people it up. You feel me? They locked in. They handling you. You feel me? They handling these people. When y'all
Not only
think these
that, you might
people
got a
are,
small army too. You know what I mean? Because they be like, you know what I'm saying? Like, just for to use as an example, 50 Cent, right? That what did Whack 100 say when he tried to run up on 50? He said, "Yo, I couldn't even get close to him because them Navy SEALs pulled up on me when I pulled up. As soon as I pulled up to
mm,
go run up on him, before I even got out my car, them Navy SEALs was outside my car, telling me, nah, you better
yeah,
leave."
So
You know what I'm saying?
mm,
So we know. Come on, bro. Who's traveling with Navy SEALs?
but
Who's
we gotta
traveling with
go
Navy SEALs in
ahead.
plain clothes? That's
We gotta
CIA.
go ahead and call it a night. We're gonna ahead and drop back on this topic at another time because gotta pay the bills, gotta work in the morning. I want to thank y'all for
I,
coming through. Any last saying before we close out? Start with you, St. Pat.
man, thank y'all again, man, for a wonderful time, man. I appreciate y'all inviting me to come in and hang out with you fellas, man, and running from a different point of view, especially from a LA person point of view for right now. Uh, I want to just say, bless everybody, man. God bless everyone. Y'all take care, man, and y'all have a wonderful night, man, or wherever you at in the world.
Shin, you got something to say?
Hey, man, you know what I got to say. Positive vibes bring positive results. Positive results means you're accomplishing your goals. Just because you're going through a negative circumstance doesn't mean that you can't have a positive outcome. And I want to say thanks to St. Patrick for coming on the show. And you know what I mean, co-hosting the show because Henry was indisposed at the moment. So you know what I mean. It was a good show anyway with Henry. You know what I mean. But you know, Henry got shows where he's always on there. So you know what I mean. It's sometimes you got to catch a break. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, yes. I want to thank both of y'all for holding the fort down and family. I love y'all. We about to go into 2026. My
Yeah,
focus is the same thing that I've been having for a long time. Family, the word family. And we hear news never in the working service, but we come out with a message. This message is for family and the next generation on. When somebody come across our videos, it has something that resonate with everyone. So I hope everybody have a wonderful good night, and we see you again in the newsroom.
Make sure you like, share, subscribe, and you check out those movie reviews video, Zootopia, Predator Badlands, and Five Nights at Freddy #2. Make sure y'all check that out.
Oh yes, yes, and the shorts.
And the shorts.